Things are just becoming so obvious. It's so phony. How in the world is America? The rest of the world. America is... Yeah. So everybody is going to send the tweets about how and just go ahead and get out there and just fund give billions, millions of dollars of weapons to organize to office almost 3 years later. How is that possible? These people could take any of those weapons. This is a terrorist organization. They could take any of these weapons and go anywhere in the world with those weapons and cause terror. And Joe Biden is just giving them away and letting people in the country unvetted to a terrorist organization. How is that even possible? And still being all... Yeah. And how? So Joe Biden, that's all he is doing is just funding terrorism. That's all he's doing. These people, they're not terrorized. It's just the same people terrorizing the people that they feel are weaker than them. They're terrorizing the women and the children. And you give them a fly name or a characteristic name like cartel. That's the same people. That's their neighbors. Terrorizing. So now they've done all the terrorizing they can in their country, and they're coming to them, and Joe Biden let them come in, and then the president or the governor of Texas, they call them, oh yeah, it's supposed to be some kind of it's no big group. You dig? It's no cartel. It's just Texas says, hey, we're just gonna send them to another state, send them wherever state they want. Bus tickets. We got bus tickets, we got plane tickets, we'll send them wherever they wanna go. So yeah, you have a situation where it's a burning building, and you tell people, hey, listen, you're fueling the flames to the fire. You're fueling the fire. So the more you fuel the fire, the more the people are trying to get out of the place for safety. I want you to orderly leave the building so nobody gets hurt, right? But you're on the other side while you're saying, you tell people go out and vote, and then you turn around, you cheat on the election, and then you get in there and you're flaming, throwing orderly. So you can't get mad at people when they say, they call people insurrectionists when they see that people are trying to leave the burning building. You have flames from the fire, bringing in more people that are terrorist groups that aren't doing it the right way. And then you turn around and say, what, do it? Yeah, that's right. People get fed up, and they're going to get tired of their high taxes, tired of their government, tired of the nonsense, tired of them spending money and spending time on other countries and funding other countries while Americans are having issues. Yeah, they're going to get tired of it. They're going to get you out the White House, you dig? And they're going to send you back with all the people you let in here. They got to go too. DJ Art Motherland sounds good in your brain straight like that. And it is the morning show, evening show, the anytime I feel like it's show. All right, so we have another video, one in which the lies have been destroyed, and another video in which I really told you so, been telling you so, and so have so many other videos from different people on YouTube, other content creators who have been telling you how sorry the current administration is. You can find them on Rumble also. Yes, this one is from Snapchat. All right, now the thing to let you know about these Snapchat videos is that they seem to have an agenda. Yes, one of those social media platforms that have an agenda, an alphabet people agenda, a woke terrible woke terminology and woke ideology, agenda, and a transgender, terrible democratic policy agendas. Why do you say this, DJ Art? I say this to say that when you are watching this video, you will notice that it is being edited. And this is not self-edited. This is programmed, edited, and edited from the platform itself, from no inclusion of my own. Oh no, some of it will now have to be doctored because of how chopped up it is. I'll try to leave some of it, but yes, now that I have to take it to the editing booth, I will have to try and edit it somewhat, because Snapchat in itself, while you are speaking, you will see parts cut out of the video, just drops of the video, drops of everything, like just as a, how do you say, before there was a button on FCC, because the FCC was different in, I would say, even in the 2000s than it was now. They wouldn't let so much certain things on network TV. Of course, things that, you can't have coming into certain people's household, vulgar language like F-bombs and things of that nature when you're watching your favorite show, favorite reality, not really reality show, right? Something like a VH12. Once the language got vulgar, you'll hear either a pause or a beep in the Jerry Springer-like items, or a pause in the video. Well, Snapchat just decided to cut out some of the best parts of the video. So what I will do here is try to fill in what the major points is that were missed and that they didn't want you to see. Straight. So check this out. They in this current administration is so phony. This video is taken, once again, this is, I got so many of these videos of what people have been telling y'all, and, of course, it's coming to fruition. People are realizing, they're seeing what's really going on. It took them 4 years, but they definitely are seeing it now. The administration is so phony. How in the world did this guy in office leave millions, possibly billions dollars worth of weapons in Iraq for the terrorists of all forms? That's right, all the terrorists in that region. And listen, a lot of them are all one and the same. So it's not necessary to try and give them a whole special name. They're all terrorists. You can put them all under the same list. How is it possible that the administration does this, gives away weapons? Now check this out. This was before October 7th. This was in July. This is before we found out that Joe Biden gave Iran $6 billion. Joe Biden gives Iran $6 billion. Next thing you know, there's a horrific terrorist attack against Israel. Now, fast forward, that's October. Fast forward to January. Now America is finally, after many strikes, of course, against U.S.-backed trade ships. They shot a missile at the ships. They've been shooting. They were shooting warning shots, shooting shots at the U.S. military, and Joe Biden didn't do anything for months. Now, these same people, now America is at war and has actively firing missiles and retaliating for those attacks, because now Americans have finally gotten killed. He waited till the Americans got killed before he jumped in the war, when he should have did it when that thing happened to Israel. Now, when the terrorist attack happened to Israel, now this is what they call the military industrial complex. These are some of the terms they use for when America wants to go to war. Yet also, they used to hide this. It used to be a thing to where, America's funding and these governments are funding both sides of the war. Well, they have showed their hand. Not only that, Can someone make the assumption that this has happened in the past or before? That is an assumption that people can make, whatever they make of it. What we can do now, this year of 2024 and the previous year of 2023, we can actively see with our own eyes from the newscastings and from the things that have transpired. Joe Biden funds Iran. We know, and many people have known and speculated, and it's been known that Iran funds these terrorist groups, and they are in bed, together in Iran, doing the worst nonsense and foolishness, dirtiness. You have one of the top terrorist leaders that Israel is actively searching for to take him in for the terrorist attacks that he has facilitated and been in charge of against Israel. You have this guy taking a picture kissing one of CNN or one of the major news groups. I can't say for certain which political outlet or media outlet he works for, but he's taken a picture with a reporter who somehow knew about the attacks, and before they knew, was able to take pictures and video of ride on tanks during these attacks. And here he is with a terrorist leader kissing him on the cheek and takes a picture. Who does that? Dirtiness. So here you have the Biden administration, first the Obama administration who's given money to Iran, now the Biden administration who has given money to Iran in the tune of $6 billion. And now they take that money and facilitate a terrorist attack against Israel and against the United States and against other regions in that area. And now America's taking the funds now to fight the same people that they help fund. Does that make any sense? This is not a conspiracy. This is the exact timeline of what happened if you've been watching the news, and most people know from October of last year to 2023 till now of 2024, February. Joe Biden gave Iran this money in 2023 when he took the troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan and withdrew all the American troops and left all the weapons. It was, under my understanding, you can check the older videos that I have posted from 2021. I was sure I myself let my viewers know that this was an absolute mistake, and that this shows you what kind of incompetency we were dealing with, and that there should be an immediate removal, an immediate step down, that he should no longer be in office. In 2021, 3 years later, look at that region. Look at the wars that is going on in that region now. 3 years later, because our congressmen and our senators and our legislators let this man stay in office after making this critical error, issue, and mistake. So, did you know what has become of a lot of those weapons? Well, it's reported that those weapons are being resold on the black, white, whatever you want to call it, market around the world. Yes, that's right. The terrorists are reselling those weapons. Now think about that. So, and did you also realize at this time, when this terrible withdrawal from Afghanistan, the leaving of weapons, soldiers died, which was very terrible. They left the Afghani people to themselves after all of this war, just left them there. There's a pilot There is a pilot who saved Joe Biden's life when he went over there and visited Afghanistan, and they do not know at the time of this withdrawal, they do not know what had become of him. They were calling him on the phone, knowing that if the terrorists found out where he was, because he was helping the United States, that who knows what could have happened. This guy called into the news stations talking about the incident and where he saved Biden's life, and at the time he didn't know what was going to happen to him. How is that Joe Biden leaves the people that saved his life in Afghanistan blowing in the wind? Is that the kind of leadership y'all wanted? So this is how Biden withdrew the U.S. from Afghanistan. This is how he left those people behind. And think about it. A short time later, Russia invades Ukraine. I do not promote messing with people, bothering people, especially bothering people who are not bothering you. That is something that I definitely do not condone. Yet, there had been a lot of encroachment upon Russia and their border at this time. And here you have Joe Biden giving away free weapons. And how do you think the West would just be? We're not excusing Putin at all. That's something that will have to be taken a closer look at. What we are saying is, how is it possible? Think about how the rest of the world is looking at the U.S. when they're not giving away aid, even though the aid that the Hamas has gotten, they took the aid. These terrorists took the aid and built miles and miles and miles and miles of tunnels. They built miles of tunnels, which cost millions and billions of dollars to build. How did they get that money? They got this money from the Obama administration. They got this money from Biden administration. This is how they got the money. So that in itself, countries take a look at who's sending aid, how are they sending aid, who's holding the UN accountable, UNRWA accountable, how are they sending aid, what are they sending aid for, what is being done with the aid. That's already a problem. That's already something that needs to be taken a look at. Yet and still, they're not just sending aid. They are sending weapons. They are leaving weapons. Here is the U.S. now, under this current administration, leaving weapons. They are what Bush said, weapons of mass destruction. They are leaving them the weapons. Leaving them the weapons to sell and to use in any other terrorist attack, however they feel. I said this before. If any of those terrorists take those weapons to another country and commits atrocities, it'll be on the administration if they find out that's their weapons. And they tried to make it a point to say that none of the weapons that Biden left in office in 2021 were used in the October 7th attacks against Israel. We'll see how they find that data and how they were able to find that out specifically. But that's what they were reporting. Yet and still, what did you do? You left weapons to terrorists. Russia should have had a better reason to invade. I wouldn't say a better reason. Should have had something more substantial to invade Ukraine, because it's always going to look bad when you are there attacking the country first. So once again, he has left weapons to the terrorists. Surrounding countries, Asia, other regions of Africa, Europe, they're all right there now with the concern of terrorist attacks because of the weapons left from the Biden administration and how they withdrew. Yet here in the U.S., they are not vetting any of the people who are coming to the border. None at all. Just letting any and everybody in through the southern border illegally. There was a guy at the border threatening, saying, "You will know who I am." And come to find out, the guy was on the terrorist watch list. And who has committed some terrorist attacks here, right here in the States? These people from the South American southern border region, from south of the border. Do you know what happened in Vivaldi? That was a illegal migrant or a descendant of someone from the south of the border who shot up the school. Look at all the atrocities and things these people are committing in the country. And they knew what they were bringing. They knew exactly what they were bringing when they were coming up here and who they were. They knew these were people who were terrorists in their own countries, messing up with their corruption in their own countries. This is why some were fleeing. Corrupted their country so bad, now they're looking for the next country to corrupt, to spread their corruption. Knew that these people were bringing humans for labor and trafficking and having these same humans used and calling it the cartel. It's not a cartel. These are the same people. These are their neighbors. This is Juan oppressing the weak, the defenseless, oppressing Guadalupe and her children, or the general. This is their MO. These people, they prey on the weak. That's all that's happened. When Trump was in office, there was no rhetoric of the cartel is controlling the border and things of that nature. Because why? He shut all of that down. Mexico had to shut all of that down. Trump put in a policy in place that you had to remain in Mexico before you came over here. That means file your asylum in Mexico before you get over here. That way, we know who we're bringing in and what kind of people we're bringing in this country. That way, we don't have people who get deported and come in, deported and come in multiple times. The same people are being deported and sneaking back into the country. When there's not a promise of a free phone, free healthcare, free food, free bills, cash assistance, free housing. When there's no promise of all these things, the people, they don't come. They don't say, you know what, I could make a living in Mexico, even though there's Americans moving to Mexico at rapid rates. They don't say, oh, we'll just stay in Mexico and make a living there, and because we're looking for asylum and the places that we're coming from is terrible, so we'll just stay in Mexico. Hey, they already speak Spanish? No, they come to the U.S. for all the free benefits that Biden promised them, only to find out that it is once again all a lie, because these same people are robbing and stealing, and that's because they're corrupt in the first place. And then they have those who are now going door to door in New York begging people for money. The mayor of New York is asking and requesting more money from the federal government because he doesn't have enough money to house all the immigrants that he says that he was willing to take in and that they should take in. We don't hear on the news about huge sums of Asians and the Africans and the Indians becoming organizations to commit crimes and things of this nature in New York and different places. But we do hear of one region where they're getting together to jump on mopeds and steal old ladies' purses. So when we first heard of them being shipped to places like Martha's Vineyard, and Martha's Vineyard, who said they accept illegal immigrants and that the country should accept them and it should be a problem, got rid of them overnight in record time. They had them all on a boat and off of Martha's Vineyard, which is a very influential, I would say mostly very wealthy place, a very not influential, but a very wealthy place area of the United States. Obama has a huge house. I mean, a immaculate house in that area. None of the migrants can stay there, but they're asking regular citizens of New York if the migrants can be housed with them. How crazy is that? When people first heard it, they said, okay, yeah, send them over there, send them this place. And then it started to dawn on people. Then the question started asking, hold on, so these people come here and they tell you where they want to go? California, the Midwest, New York. This is where we want to go. And they know they're going there before they even step foot in this country. So Texas, it starts looking like they're evenly distributing these people around the United States. You come into Texas and we'll give you a nice plane. But they had been talking about this since 2021 of flights. People flying these illegal migrants to all the cities of the U.S. on the taxpayer's dollar. They are flying around the U.S. with no passport, no documentation, nothing. Whatever they want, and then they want to sit back and this was back in 2021, to even think they were going to try to shut down the airlines or shut down people in their homes for a corona hoax, for a lie. Yet here it is. Instead of sending them a plane ticket, they did it for the Haitians, which was awful because they sent the people that they did bring in. Look at the rapid numbers of what how they're acting. Look at the behavior. Look at what they're committing, being here in the country. Look at what they're doing, right? Greg Abbott doesn't tell any of them, hey, look, listen up. There's a number of them on the street. They didn't take care. The American citizens is on the street. Here, a number of them are on the street, flooding flooding the shelters, things of this nature, living on the street, in trash and defecation. And the governor of Texas doesn't say, hey, look, all of y'all, get up. We got a bus outside. It's going to take you right back to where you came from. No, they're still there. How is this possible? So there's an analogy where he's telling people, the analogy is that there's a problem in the U.S. We have this and this issue. Hillary Clinton, these are the Democrats. That Trump is going to start a war. He's going to start world wars. And that the place is burning. Yet, look at this. They invite the problem into the U.S. They're telling you to vote, and then they turn around and stealing the elections when it doesn't go their way. They are funding and militarizing the terrorists, and then all the while telling countries who were minding their own business that they should not fight against the very same terrorists that are attacking them in the most atrocious way. I know some countries that's not going for it. I stand with Israel. I stand with free speech. And with that free speech that is given to us, the knowledge of and the freedom of the press was given out information all during 2020, knowing who this person was that people were trying to bring into office, with many of us knowing his background, knowing what this type of person was, and knowing that this person was absolutely the worst person that could possibly get in office for this country. And then you have people who knew all of this, and look at what happened. January 6th. When people who win legitimate elections don't call the National Guard for the White House. They don't build a fence for the White House when they have legitimate elections. These are things you do when you stole the election. January 6th is what happens in France, Europe, third world countries, when they don't have a legitimate voting system in place. The people have to make their voice heard in the streets. And look at what Joe Biden has done. He's trying to turn the U.S. into a third world country. Don't let it happen. It's gone far enough. They will not be able to win this election with the robots online. Let me ask you this. Who do you know in real life that voted for Joe Biden? Take a poll for yourself. Look around and ask. Now ask yourself this. Who do you know wants to vote for Joe Biden, is voted for Joe Biden today? No one? That's what I thought. See, this country is being run by somebody who is very corrupt. I just being run with corruption. It's a thing that, people say, well, trying. Why are you trying me? Well, the generally it has a couple of different meanings. Let's see. First is generally like, why are you messing with me right now? Why are you messing with me? Why are you bothering? Why are you messing with me? Are you kidding me right now? Right? And then it also has another term where it's a corrupt tactic to try somebody and see how far you can take things. But you try them a little bit, and then you push, and you push, and you push. To see how far you can go, or how far you can take it. Now, or how far they can take things. But it's always a rude awakening. You see, they were trying people with corona. Let's see if we can really get them to stay in the house. Let's see if we can really get them to not go outside, not visit their people, right? Not exercise the God-given rights that they have. Let's see if we can do it. They were trying. It didn't work. It worked in some places better than others, but for the most part, it was a failed debacle. And now that it is fully exposed for what it is, they know they can't go nowhere near that again. Here they are. They are letting people into the country rapidly. They've been doing it for going on 4 years. And waiting till the last year to come up with a bill to say, okay, we're going to do something after the amount of 5,000 people. Governor DeSantis let y'all know that the amount of people that should be let in the country illegally is 0. It is 0. That is the amount that should be let in illegally. But they're trying American citizens. They're trying, y'all. Let's see how far they can push it. But the problem is with this thing, with this corrupt attitude, is that, like you see all the time, there's people that like to bully people, come with all kind of corruption, and they don't know what happens when their corruption is met with at a standstill. Like, halt, you're going too far. You are going too far. Well, it looks like they have reached the absolute stop sign, not the yield, because the American people are speaking across the nation for a Trump re-election. And most of us now are seeing past just a Trump re-election, which is an absolute must. Yet, for this type of fiasco to never happen again for another 4 years, at any time of this duration of this country in the future, that the red states, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene said, the red states, I say again, the red states and the blue states need to separate. The red states need to remove themselves from all the nonsense the Democrats have caused. Look at how the country has operated when the Democrats and with their policies. Look at how their policies worked out.
If they are the coach, they are the fake news, bad news bears. You see, the Bears are winning now. They got rid of the coach. They got rid of all the people that used to be who in the organization. The country, the red states need to distance themselves from those blue states, because the time is now, because the blue states ain't got nothing going for them but some transgender nonsense.